trying to teach them all lessons. Yeah. Whoa. Hoop dreams trying to make it to the league. I'm a young Mike
welcome
Jordan
to this
balling
week's
out
episode of
Jeff
Hardwood
Teague.
Confessions, your weekly hoop confessional where we speak to hoopers, sports industry professionals alike, and give them a chance to speak their truth. So my name is Tay. I'm your host, and today we have the one and only Brandon Ennis. How's it going, brother?
It's going well, man. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm good. Can't complain. Can't complain at all myself. So, man, just to give a little on Brandon, him and I go back a few years, and we got a chance to do an event together. An amazing guy. For those that you're listening, he is a basketball skills trainer from youth all the way up to the NBA. So he's kind of got a very, very wide range of training skills, throughout basketball. So, and he's coming all the way from, what do they say, we the North?
Yes, sir.
Representing Toronto, Canada. So give a shout out to them. But yeah, man. So basketball. How did it all get started? Like, where was the introduction?
Yeah. Back when I was about 7 years old, my dad introduced it to myself and my two younger brothers, Dylan and Tyler. And I remember the very first game that I ever watched was Toronto Raptors versus the Portland Trail Blazers back when Toronto had Damon Stoudemire when he was a rookie.
Right.
And I just remember asking random questions and stuff like that. But he was just teaching me the game there. And then the next day we went out to the park, and me and my brother Dylan, we were playing, and he was teaching us the fundamentals and stuff. And I remember my friends came to watch. I just got mad and embarrassed, and I'm I don't want to do this in front of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my dad just had us playing it every winter, and just continuously every single year, and just the growth that he's had in Canadian basketball, and just the impact he's had on me and my brothers, and even my other siblings. It's been so consistent, and it shows in just what we've done. Me and my brothers, we all went to college on full scholarships, and made the most of our situations.
Right. So for those that are listening that don't know, Brandon comes from a royalty family in Canada per se for basketball. Seen very high success, not only just his brothers that kind of paved the way, but he mentioned his pops had a big part of that. And so they had a chance some years ago to establish history by having two number one draft picks come out of Canada, and Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins both coming through, Toronto, or you're part of the AAU circuit. So that's amazing. And so you guys kind of seen it from the beginning in Canada, kind of, get to where it is now. And you got guys dominating the league, and Jamal Murray that also came through you, that through your guys' side. And so, man, it's just, I'm curious, when it comes to Canada basketball, specifically Toronto, your parts, how was that like, from where you seen it from, where you got first, started playing to now?
Yeah, it's definitely been a drastic change, in comparison to, when I was playing. Back then, we were lucky to have maybe one D1 college come to a practice, whereas now we're having multiples of high Division I, high major plus Division I's, and all the way down to low Division I coming to watch us practice and coming to games and everything like that. Right. So it's an amazing thing to see. And I always knew that Canadian basketball was going to be on the uprise, just from watching not only guys like myself in my class, but also the younger guys, because they're watching us, and they're learning and they're developing, because that's how I always saw it. We're always learning from the older guys, and just seeing the talent that the younger guys had, and it honestly impressed me. I'm man, these kids are good.
Right.
And then I remember even in college, I would tell my my college teammates, I'm man, you guys better watch out.
Watch out, yeah.
Canada's on the come up. And then next thing you know, we got number one draft picks, we got lottery picks. And I think it was just a matter of time that Canada really started to make a huge impact in the professional world, because we're so used to playing in the US now. We got guys going to prep schools, and then we have good prep schools here. Playing in the U.S. so consistently, we're playing against American talent, and continuously coaches are like, oh, where's this kid from? And then they
Right.
find out where he's from. So then they want to know, okay, maybe there's more kids like him where he's from.
Right. And so, and kind of to speak on what you just mentioned, you got to see the transition not only just firsthand, but even within your family. You know, you're the oldest brother, so you got to have a big hand on as far as development for your younger siblings, and so you actually got to see one of your brothers get drafted in the first round. So I'm sure that was special. What was that like? What was that day like?
Yeah, it was honestly surreal, like because like you see like little videos on TV of like the pre-draft process, and then guys draft day, like what they go through, like the outfit, all little things down to the outfits and things like that, and then
Right.
just really like being a part of it. It was like, man, like I'm like we're actually like physically here, like this is the stuff that we always see on TV, and
Right.
then even just sitting in the green room, just seeing all the other guys and their parents, and then finally hearing, like we were told prior to Tyler's name being called, like kind of like a heads up, like oh, like they're like, oh, Phoenix is going to draft him at 18.
Right.
Try to keep your composure until like his name is called and stuff.
Right.
So like, all right. So like we're real chill about it, and then your Adam Silver call his name out, and it was like it's happening.
It's
Like
happening.
man, like
Yeah.
he really just called my little brother's name, and just seeing him walk up on that stage and shake his hand, take pictures and stuff like that. It was an amazing moment, and
Right.
one I'll definitely cherish as an older brother, like, for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think that kind of, I guess maybe organically led you into being a natural trainer or teacher, facilitator, or maybe even a coach at some point
Mm-hmm.
in your career. So, how has that been going from being an older brother and training your brothers and even yourself, obviously, and then kind of finding that niche where you're like, you know what, I like this training aspect and developing younger guys.
Yeah, it definitely took me a little while because I remember back in college, it was my last semester. I just finished playing. It was and I was in my very last semester, and just looking to graduate. And I remember some of my teammates would ask me like, "Yo, B, you think you can put me through some drills or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Like, I don't mind." So as I kept doing it, my teammates would tell me like, "Yo, you should get into training." I'm like, "Nah, I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see," because I still want to play
Right.
pro.
Yeah.
So once I realized, that wasn't my path, I wanted to stay in, the basketball realm. So working with my brother, he asked me to like work as his personal assistant during his time in the NBA. And like during that time, like I've done like little kid camps and stuff like that. And then I really wanted to really get into training because like
Yeah.
I enjoyed, helping kids and like helping them improve. And then that's when I found out a good friend of mine now, Drew Hanlon, he was doing running an internship for his pre-draft process.
Right.
So I emailed him, and then my brother even like was telling me like, yo, you should definitely check this out and see what it's all about. And then from there, that's when like my skill set as a trainer went to like a whole nother level. Like I started to see everything much more differently, much more detailed.
Right.
And like that pre-draft experience, I think it was 2015, was definitely one that definitely turned my training career over to a better side. And because of that, I've gotten so much better. And ever since that day, I feel like I've always been learning. I've always been improving. Just working with the number of different guys and different
Right.
kids and stuff like that. Just helping them improve their game.
Yeah. So really given a chance to kind of pay it forward, man. And then you have
Yeah.
a unique situation where not only you get to develop your brother and then the guys around you, but you get to represent your country or you're from and just that whole, movement, that's coming down to the US and I mean really dominating to say the least. So I know that has to be special, in that regard, just being a trainer. So as you've kind of navigated through training and kind of figuring out your skill set and whatnot, what would you say, what moment or what player, because I know you've probably trained a lot of guys and so which one, and I don't want you to pick a favorite, nothing like that,
Mm.
but maybe outside of just, your brother, kind of going through it, but what was, that moment you were like, man, this is amazing to kind of see, one of my guys or a few of my guys, if you want to say a name, you can, like,
Yeah.
get to the next level.
Yeah, two guys, other than my brothers, two guys definitely come to mind. First one is Lou Dort. So he came up to Athlete
Wow.
Institute where I work at for his last prep school year. And, I heard a lot about him.
Right.
Man, like, he's a big guard, could
Yeah.
do this, could do that. Like,
Yes.
he's got NBA potential.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like, like I feel more confident when I can see the kid play and I can make my analysis. So
Right.
okay, like we'll see what he's about. And
Yeah.
first thing I saw was kid was a walking muscle, like
Right.
just ripped
Right.
everywhere. I'm like, goodness. So I'm like, okay,
Like he's a
all right,
guard.
yeah, that's a big guard, man.
Yeah.
So just watching him play, I'm like, okay, like this kid got some skills. So
Right.
then, I started to pick his brain. I'm like, okay, so like, what's some stuff you want to work on to try to take your game to the next level? So he said he wanted to be more of a point guard, consistent 3-point shooting, and then better decision making.
Right.
So throughout his last year, we were working out five. So him plus a number of other guys working out 5 a.m. We would lift,
Wow.
then we would do on court. They go to school, come back, we would practice, and then there'd be times in the evening we'd get some extra work in.
Yeah.
And then just seeing how his hunger and wanting to get better, it like he continuously improved, and he was always an impact in every single game that we played.
Right.
Excuse me. And so just seeing the things that we worked on, he always implemented them into his game. And so to me, that just shows me, okay, he's listening and he's
Right.
understanding why we're doing these type of moves for him. Because my thing was always like, I'm going to show you stuff that's going to benefit your game. I won't ever make you do something that doesn't translate into the
Right.
type of player you are.
Right.
And then, so, fast forward, he goes off to college, and just seeing him dominate there. Again, he's doing moves that we worked on.
Right.
Remembering, little nuances and little tweaks that we made with his jump shot. And then now take it to the NBA. I was so disappointed that nobody drafted him.
Yeah.
And it
For
was
sure.
honest, it was a big shock, not only to me, but to his family, to his mentor,
Yeah.
to our program. Like everybody was just shocked.
Yeah.
And then I knew right away that he's going to take this personal as he should. And then next thing you know, he's now known as one of the best defenders in the NBA to this day. Especially in that last game, he did a phenomenal job, and I
He
couldn't be
did
more
an
proud of him.
amazing job. Amazing job.
Yeah. And
And
then,
and
sorry,
he
yeah.
no, I'm saying, and he started. That's a testament in himself. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like bro, your hard work is always going to show when you step on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then another kid that comes to mind is Matthew Alexander Moncrief.
Okay.
He's another kid that came out of our program, Orangeville Prep,
Yeah.
out here at Athlete Institute. That kid is honestly one of the hardest workers that I've ever gotten to work with. So I've been working with him for 3 years since I first got into AI. And first moment I stepped on campus, he was already asking questions like, who did I work with? What kind of stuff did you do? Like
Right.
all this kind of stuff, just like trying to pick my brain. And I actually love that because I want
Yeah.
kids to ask me questions and try to like
Sure.
figure me out so they know who I am.
Right.
So I remember like a lot of times, like because he started out as a 4,
Okay.
and being about 6'6", 6'7", one thing we told him, like, we wanted you to be more of a wing.
Right.
So we worked a lot on his game as far as developing his guard skill set.
Yeah.
And definitely at the beginning, like you see, like he traveled when he shouldn't, can't do the move right and stuff like that. But he was consistent
Yeah.
in his work ethic. So I remember one year, I call it his transition year. It was my second year working with him, and so we threw him right at the wing. So it's almost like we threw him into the fire.
Right. Right.
And again, like it's a learning process. So he's making mistakes here and there. There's errors and stuff like that, which normally comes. And I told him, like, look, like you're gonna make these mistakes, but you have to go through it. You have to go through this type of adversity
Right.
to understand what success feels like and what like what it feels like to do these the right way. Right. So throughout that year, near the end, he started to improve and get better. And then he was invited to Basketball Without Borders, ended up
Nice.
making the All-Star team. And then that same year, he got invited to Nike Hoop Summit. And then at the end of that year, he was invited to the Penguins All-American Camp.
Nice.
So that
Wow.
year was that,
Wow.
and he finished off being named Canadian Athlete of the Year for
Wow.
basketball. So it was a big year for him, and
Right.
so I felt like that was his stamp to let the world know like he's one of the top players in Canada. So
Right.
then come to his final year, was dominating again. Like me and him, we spent so much time in the gym. Like if I couldn't even put a number on the amount of hours that we were in there.
Yeah.
And like it was definitely a blessing to work with this kid. And you know, I told him, and I've told Lou as well. Like you guys got me for life. And like whenever we have a gym, like you need me there, or if you're gonna
Right.
come here, like we'll always get that work in. And
Yeah.
he's now at MA's now at Oklahoma State with
Okay.
Kate Cunningham. And
Yeah.
you know, we talk here and there whenever he has time. And
Right.
he said he's been doing really, really well. Coaches love him. Like,
Nice.
and he's just trying to do, like, he's just doing his job. Like
Right.
whatever coach asks him to do, he's getting it done. And
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing. So I'm expecting a lot from him this year at
Yeah.
Oklahoma State.
Man, that's powerful, man. That's amazing to hear. Like, I didn't even know the ins and outs in terms of, Lugans and everything that kind of went into that. And now you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
Moncrief, who sounds like another hard worker. So you have your training company called Locked In. So I think that kind of plays to, your style of training and the guys that you have. Like, all these guys seem they were locked in and are continue to be locked in and striving to get better. And we obviously see it. Hopefully we can see Moncrief at Oklahoma State, but we definitely got a chance to see it in the bubble with OKC as Lugan did his thing and almost got to the next stage. Getting the
Almost, man,
yeah.
almost.
That would have been big. That would have been huge and a great testament to not only you but to him and his hard work. So that's awesome.
Mhm.
So hey, look. So as part of Hardwood Confessions, we got a segment called the Hooper's Confessional. And this segment is going to be sponsored by Blackwater. It's a power sport version of water at its purity. And you can get your first order 20% off if you click on the link in the description below. So, Brandon, question for you. With all that being said, we spoke about,
Mhm.
what does the basketball mean to you, or what has it meant to you from your childhood experience in sports to where you see yourself today?
Um, I mean, the word that definitely comes to mind is definitely impact. It's definitely changed my life. It's given me opportunity to meet people, travel across the U.S. and even outside the country, and just being able to change lives, giving kids the opportunity to get a free education,
Right.
and maybe even to get the opportunity to play professionally, to support themselves, their families, and get back to their parents and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's such a huge part that, a basketball, if you hold the basketball and look at it and you're like, wow, this round leather object, allowed me to impact so many lives or so many kids and so many futures, like
Hmm.
you got all these kids that you've been able to kind of touch and go through Canada. And so I can only imagine like the difference that's made for yourself and as well as your community and your school and all that stuff. So yeah, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. So I know we spoke about the two guys that kind of had that moment for you, but give me something for yourself personally outside of training that was a memorable moment for yourself, as kind of what that kind of pertaining to what basketball has meant to you.
Um,
And
I would
I mean,
say,
like playing or, yourself or
yeah, I would honestly say, even like I would say more of like there was been a turning point where like I thought I wasn't gonna ever play basketball again, and that was when I didn't qualify for Division 1. So I
Mhm.
thought that I wasn't ever gonna play again. And like that night, like I literally cried and like I was scared. But like I didn't give up, and started searching and looking at the different schools at Division 2 level, junior college, and everything like that. And I think from playing so much as a young kid and like learning that that whole dealing with adversity and not giving up type of
Yeah,
feeling,
right.
I owe that to basketball. And I think because of that, um, that whole mentality I had, going into looking at other schools at different levels and stuff like that is because of basketball. I didn't give up because I love the sport so much, and I was able to, get a full scholarship to a Division II level and complete my college career.
Nice, nice. That'll work. And so, look, I gotta ask. I'm gonna ask everybody that's played at some point, because I think as an athlete and former athletes that we are, I think we all kind of have like a superstition or a pregame ritual, or share with the audience, man. What was your superstition that you had, or a pregame ritual that you just absolutely had to do, right?
Oh
Or
yeah,
the game would be just off.
yeah. So it's two things. So one, I would always have to wear a wristband, just like how Kobe did on his forearm.
Okay.
I always wore one on my right arm, and I felt like if I didn't wear it, like my game was off. And then another one is, and my brothers used to make fun of me for it. I always listen to hype music, so like like a lot of like upbeat rap music and stuff like that,
Right.
like to kind of
Right.
like get my adrenaline pumping. Like I gotta listen to that type of music to get me going.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So real quick, are you when you put your shoe on, are you right to left or left to right?
I'm right to left.
Right to left, right to left. Same way. And it's got to be
It
there, right?
has to be.
And it has to be. How many times have you found yourself like, stop and like, hold on, I got to get this first? And
Oh yeah, a lot. Even with my socks, I'm like, hold on, I can't put my left one on first. I gotta go
yeah.
right.
So it's interesting, man, as athletes, and maybe it may even extend to individuals that necessarily don't play sports, but we kind of find ourselves in these superstitions where we have to like find a way to kind of get up, and or things aren't right, and then
Yeah.
if it does go wrong, then we got something to blame, right? You're like, I knew I should have. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So, yeah, I appreciate that, so we can get out of the Hooper Confessional. So we appreciate that. And so let me ask you, where you're at now. So what is next for Brandon Ennis?
Yeah. So I'm looking to get into education as well. So I want to kind of like, expand my horizons. So I'm looking to move down to Texas soon. I'm going to be teaching and also coaching and training out in the Texas area real soon. So I'm real excited about it. Looking
Yeah.
to kind of spread my wings type of thing. So it's
Right,
definitely a
right.
great opportunity. So I can't wait for it.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds good, man. And so I'm sure there'd be some type of training possibly as well, or integrated in
Absolutely.
that. And okay, so that's part of life, huh? That's doing that whole aspect. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So let me ask you, before we conclude here, let me ask you, if we were to retire your jersey today, all right, what would the number be on the back? And what is either a nickname that you gave yourself or that was given to you, or maybe a mantra or a slogan that you kind of like,
Mm.
just that's who you are?
Okay, so the number would be number one, just because one reason, it's my college number, and I was the first one of my brothers to go to school on a full scholarship, or first
Okay.
one in my family going to school on a full scholarship. And then on the back of my jersey, it would be a phrase that it says, "We worked on that," which is something
Mm,
I say on a daily almost, and all the guys that I've worked with. Every time we work on a move and then they do it in a game, like you'll hear me yell, "We worked on
you
that."
worked on that, yeah.
So yeah, so that would definitely be on the back of my jersey.
Gotcha. That's awesome. That is awesome. So I'm gonna make sure we get that up. So we got number one, and then we worked on that. I like that actually. I might
Yeah.
have to use that just in life across the board. So that's amazing. That's amazing. And one last question, and I forgot to ask, but I kind of wanted to get into um, what would like a false reality be for trainers, or maybe an expectation you have, like you mentioned before, you had a couple guys that kind of came and asked you questions because they were just wanting to learn, but I'm sure there's people out there that expect certain results from training. I had my coach always used to say to us, don't mistake activity for achievement, right? So just because you're in the gym, doesn't mean that you're getting better, right? So
Yeah.
what can you speak to that, in terms of, the expectation that, people may have that, going into it?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, one of the biggest things is don't expect immediate results. Like especially with this game, and I feel like in any sport you play, in order to be great at something, you have to continuously work on your craft and don't shy away from, messing up or errors or any type of adversity, because those are the things you have to go through in
Right.
order to understand what it feels like I said earlier, what it feels like to feel success and feel that type of positivity when you complete something. So
Yeah.
that's definitely one thing I take from it.
Nice. All right, man. Well, look, we're gonna I'm gonna go ahead and make sure your social media is up so our listeners can follow your journey as you go from the north, or we the north, as they say, Toronto down to Texas, and kind of see, and follow you, in terms of your training and what you're gonna do. So I'll make sure
Yeah.
that that's up there, or you can let us know what your handle is right now if you want.
Yeah, it's locked in training, and then in between each word is a period, so it'll be locked.in.training.
All right, perfect. Well, hey, Brandon, I appreciate you coming on today, man. It's been a great pleasure getting with you again. It's been some time, but so that's going to conclude this week's episode of Hardwood Confessions. Again, my name is Tay. I'm your host. And make sure, if you're watching on YouTube, to make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell and get notified on the next week's episode of Hardwood Confessions. Again, my name is Tay.
Game time,
I'm signing
man, I
out.
keep them all guessing. Game 5 and I'm shooting like Stephen. And I'm full court pressing. That's a Hardwood confession.
Steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6.